participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Thank you, Dr. to Dr. Yusuf Master for providing me this wonderful opportunity to be with you this morning. The topic that is assigned to me for the keynote address is Stress, the World Epidemic of the 21st Century. It's really a challenging topic. The reason is there are many people in our society who have been victimized by stress. But the interesting thing is they are not aware of their condition. In that scenario, the topic chosen for the keynote address as Stress, the World Epidemic of the 21st Century seems to be quite relevant. Before I start, let me give a brief introduction of myself. As the anchor of the program, the coordinator, Dr. Kamaruddin said, I'm Siddiqui Muhammad Mahmood. I belong to Department of Education and Training. I'm serving there as a professor and dean, faculty of education. Right now, I'm holding the charge of in-charge registrar, Maulana Azad National Urdu University. In that capacity, I welcome all the participants of this webinar. Friends, this is just an introductory session. So our other experts, they'll be highlighting the topics in depth. But being the introductory speech, I would like to make you relax, prepared to listen and get benefited of the remaining sessions. I would like to start with a very interesting point, what life is. Though it seems to be a philosophical topic, but it has got its relevance with our topic. Some of the poets wrote a beautiful couplet on life. He writes, and I quote, "Zindagi kya hai anasir mein zahur tartib. Zindagi kya hai anasir mein zahur tartib. Maut kya hai इन्हीं अज्जा का परेशान होना." The shair, the poet, the kavi says, what life is a systematic arrangement of various elements like water, air, etc., etc. And what death is nothing but when these elements get scattered, then death occurs. So it's a very scientific couplet. Zindagi kya hai anasir mein zahur tartib aur maut kya hai inhi ajza ka pareshan hona. Friends, life seems to be a succession of moments. Days and nights follow each other without much distinction. But now and then a day dawns, a day which changes the course of history. And it is therefore, the second part of the quotation is, life is a succession of moments, and to live each one is to succeed. If really we want to be successful, then we have to lead and live each moment meticulously, fruitfully. If we enjoy each and every moment, then there lies the life. The real sense of life is enjoying these moments which are available to us. Because there are many people who do not have this opportunity because they are no more living beings. As far as 21st century is concerned, this century seems to be quite different from the last century. Of course, in the last century only, we have witnessed a lot of scientific and technological advancement. And this process has been continued and it will remain continued. There are so many discoveries, inventions, and innovations. Especially inventions like TV, computer, and internet. They have changed our lifestyle and everything in our life. The information and communications technology is one of the fastest growing industries. You'll be surprised to note that whatever quantum of knowledge was there with all the humanity till 1950, that quantum of knowledge got doubled just in the next 50 years, starting from 1951 to 2000. And we become very much surprised to know when the experts opine that nowadays it takes just a period of 74 days for this quantum of knowledge to get doubled. And it is at the mercy of what is called as computer and internet. It's because of computer and internet especially that the quantum of knowledge get doubled in every 74 days. Life has become most comfortable. Whatever luxurious things were not available even to the kings and emperors in the past, now they are available and they are at the service of a common man. For example, the refrigerator, the television, and all other equipments that we have. Now, they were not found in the past even for the emperors and kings. They could not even imagine of such things. But now they are the ground reality that even a common man can use them. Now, quality in this era is no more the monopoly of any particular nation, ethnic group, or the followers of particular religion or culture. In fact, quality is now considered to be the right of one and all. But in spite of all these facts that I have enumerated, one fact remains, and that is the fruit of progress are not evenly distributed. And there is increase in materialism. There is increase in materialism. The gulf between the haves and have-nots have been increased. There is increase in unlawful activities and crimes. The bond of family relationship has become very weak. In the past, we used to have very strong bondage among all the family members. But now somewhere that bond has become very, very weak. Now, collective social decisions have been being influenced by anti-social elements. That's very unfortunate part. That in almost all the societies we find that there is domination of what is called as anti-social elements. And there is threat to natural environment. For the want of speedy progress, the man has somewhere lost the importance of balanced environment. And as a result, we have been facing the consequences as well. The misery of man. Man is basically created as the most honorable creatures. What is called as in Urdu as Ashraful Makhluqat. In Hindi we say Sabse Adhik Sammanit. And whenever there is moral degradation, the human beings become restless. It's obvious. Because by nature, we have been born as innocent. By nature, we have been born as the most honorable creature. And all these crimes and anti-social activities do not suit to our nature. And whenever we find such activities to be very common, it's obvious that our soul, our spirit will become restless. And therefore, there comes the stressful condition. When we find that the social conditions are not as per the values, they are not as per the rules and regulations, then it's obvious that we shall become restless and we shall become stressful. Now, question arises, what stress is? Our experts who will be joining us as the resource persons, they'll be highlighting various aspects of stress. So I need not go into the depth of the concept of stress, but just as a layman, I'll try to make you understand what stress is for a layman. Stress is the human response to excessive demands known as stressor, which disturb physiological, social, and psychological systems. In order to make you understand this concept, I would like to touch another concept like stimulus. What an stimulus is? A stimulus is something which produces what is called as response, which elicits response from the human being. Exactly in the same fashion, stressors are the stimuli which instill in me the condition of stress, which makes me stressful. Such substances or phenomena are called as stressors. Now, depending upon the stress can be either positive or it can be negative. There are two types of stress. One, negative type of stress. The second, positive type of stress. Now, what is negative type of stress? Negative stress, which is also called as a distress, is usually severe and is beyond one's control. Generally, it's beyond one's control. We cannot easily control the negative stress. It is characterized by physical and mental signs and symptoms. Physical and mental signs and symptoms can be easily seen by looking at the person who has developed that condition of stress. In comparison to this negative stress, we have another type of stress called as positive stress. Technically, it is also called as eustress. And it is always a mild or moderate. It results into positive effects, including improved creativity, learning, more efficiency at work, and a higher level of self-esteem and self-concept. Friends, by understanding the concept of negative stress and positive stress, you might have realized the importance of being moderate in all the activities, in all the thinkings, and in all the phenomena that we face in our life. If we remain moderate, if we remain balanced, then that condition of being balanced will produce what is called as positive stress. Otherwise, there is every possibility that we may become the victims of negative stress. Now, as far as the types of stressors are concerned, we have two different types of stressors. One called as internal stressors, who have got roots inside our personality. One are called as external stressors who have got their root outside our personality. Now let us focus our attention on what is called as internal stressors. Internal stressors are also called as emotional stressors. Another meaning, another word for the internal stressors is emotional stressors, because they are very much related with our emotions. Anxiety, fear, and personality traits. For example, too much worrying about the results of an examination or the outcome of an interview that we have appeared for a job. These lead to excessive perspiration, difficulty in sleeping, nail biting, etc., etc. And such symptoms and signs, they reflect that the person is stressful or he has been facing the condition of being stressful. Now, there are certain external stressors. For example, the family stressors, social stressors, work stressors, change stressors, chemical stressors, disease stressors, and environmental stressors. All these stressors are called as external stressors because they have got their roots away from our personality, beyond our personality. Now, as far as the external stressors are concerned, there might be a question from the listeners. And the question might be, sir, as far as the internal stressors are concerned, I can control them because their roots are within my personality. So maybe I may try to control the internal stressors. What about the external stressors? How can I control that? This is a $1 million question that you raise. May I request all the participants to please mute yourself. All the participants are requested to mute themselves. May I please the organizer please mute all the participants, please. The organizers are requested to mute all the participants, please. So friends, I was telling you that there are two types of stressors. One, internal stressors. The second one is external stressors. And the question that I have undertaken was that somebody may raise a question that as far as internal stressors are concerned, as their roots are within my personality, I can try to control them. But what about the external stressors? Because they are beyond my personality, their roots are away from my personality. So how can I control them? And one poet has written a beautiful couplet I would like to share with you. Ki mere qatl ke baad usne jafa se tauba. Jafa is just opposite of wafa, that is love. Wafa is love, and Jafa is just opposite to it, that is unkindness. Ki mere qatl. Qatl is killing, assassinating somebody. Ki mere qatl ke baad usne jafa se tauba. Hai us zudo pashima ka pashima hona. The poet addresses to his beloved that his beloved, after subjecting so many what you call as unkindful activities on the poet, has repented. But now what's the use of her repentation, her or his repentance? There is no use. Why? Because the poet is already dead. Because of the unkind behavior of the beloved, the poet is no more. He has lost his life. So what's the use of it? There is no use of it. So sometimes these external stressors, they simply kill us. And even if somebody changes, the course of his action against us, there is no use of it because we are already dead. We are no more. So it's very, very important to control such external stressors at the very, very early stage so that we can make ourselves survive and we can continue our struggle, our endeavor towards progress and success. Now, friends, as far as this particular situation of COVID-19 is concerned, you might have seen that COVID-19 is a disease which has got very strong effects, negative effects. As far as the figures are concerned, these figures I have recorded at 9:13 p.m. yesterday. And as per the figures, the confirmed cases of COVID-19 in India are 82 lakhs, 8,790. Out of which still active cases are 5 lakhs, 68,627. Those who have recovered, their number is 75 lakhs, 16,330. And very unfortunate part is that we have lost about 1,22,419 Indians because of this COVID-19. 2 crores 40 lakhs children are at the risk of not returning to school. Only in India, about 12 crores 20 lakhs people have lost their jobs, as per the report of India Today published on 21st August 2020. Now, these effects of COVID-19, they are not limited. They are not limited and confined to only our country. You know that this pandemic has spread its wings all over the world. And the situation has rightly described by the children of various countries in the form of a poem. The poem so beautifully describes the situation that I could not resist myself except by sharing you. So I would like to share this particular poem written by many, many children all over the world. The playgrounds are asking about us. The children are saying, the playgrounds are asking about us. There are no classes, no schools, no churches, no guests, no visitors, no parks, no friends, no peace of mind, empty and sad streets. Ramadan came and we could not go to the mosques. The outside world is silent. I'm afraid that my family and friends will get sick. See how beautifully they have described. I'm afraid that my family and friends will get sick because whatever condition we have seen in our neighbors, in our environment, that situation makes us fearful that no member of my family should get sick. I'm afraid that my family and friends will get sick. I'm scared it will get to my grandparents' house and their door will be open. I hope the audience will realize the beauty of this couplet. I'm scared it will get to my grandparents' house and their door will be open. Before, I would say to everyone, I want to be alone. Before the pandemic, what was the condition? There were many people who used to prefer what is called as loneliness to their job comfortably and satisfactorily. So before, I would say to everyone, I want to be alone. But today, I want to be next to you. But today, I want to be next to you. The situation is that everybody is so afraid that we need to be comfortable in the company of each other, and unfortunately, that opportunity is not available. I miss sharing the fun times, and that makes me sad. I miss sharing the fun times, and that makes me sad. I miss being with my best friend. I miss her hugs. I grew tired of reading the same books. You know, even the shops are closed. So there is no question of purchasing new books. The children of God, whatever treasure of books they have got at home, that treasure is only available to read again and again. But the child says, I grew tired of reading the same books. Oh, how I miss my freedom. The freedom to be a child, to just learn and play. Time is becoming timeless. Time is becoming timeless. Seconds, minutes, months are flying. Seconds, minutes, months are flying. I want it to stop. We are afraid, yet we are fearless. The condition is, we are afraid, yet we are fearless. In the beginning, everybody was so afraid that nobody was coming out of the house. Now the condition is, though we are afraid, yet we are fearless. We are born because we cannot remain in the same condition for a very, very large time. We have looked in our hearts, and kindness we have found. We have looked in our hearts, and kindness we have found. Thank you for your time, for your work, for your strength, and for your love. You know, in this period, we have seen with many human beings, including doctors, including all medicos, including the persons involved in the process of cleanliness, right? All these people, the security people, the police walas, the military man, all these, they stand with us for our security, for our cleanliness, and for our treatment. So thank you for your time, for your work, for your strength, and for your love. I'm happy to have more time with my mom. A child says, the positive aspect of this lockdown is that I'm happy to have more time with my mom. I draw pictures, I play and do homework. We have had social distancing picnics, social distancing walks, social distancing hugs, and social distancing talks. Now life is there, so all the phenomena of the life will continue. But new feature has added to all these activities, and that feature is the feature of social distancing. We are with each other, our hearts are combined with each other. There is what is called as integration of hearts, but still we have to maintain what is called as physical distancing or social distancing. The planet is taking a break and shows us its charms. Now, another positive aspect of this lockdown period is the planet is taking a break and shows us its charms. The real charm of the environment we could see now. Animals come and go from the shadows. Our wildlife grows like us. The wildlife is growing as independently as ourselves. Previously, they were always facing a danger from the human beings, but now they are moving freely. I dream of a day when masks aren't needed. It seems as if the mask has become the symbol of human beings. Everybody is having the mask on his face. And we need to take precautionary measures. But the child says, he expresses his desire that I dream of a day when masks aren't needed. I'll go to the park to skate. I'll play football outside. I'll dance in the street with no shame. The fog and the darkness. They won't win. The fog and the darkness, they won't win. The sun is waiting, dreaming, smiling. The sun is waiting, dreaming, smiling. All this will pass. We will be fine. We will see you soon. Join me. Give me your hand. And let's face this, because together we are stronger. Because together we are stronger. Friends, beautifully the children have described the situation. The poem itself is the reflection of our present situation. It beautifully describes various aspects of this particular situation of COVID-19. We'll find that those who have witnessed sickness, either for themselves or those who have seen their nearest and dearest dying in front of their eyes without doing any help to them, naturally, they are becoming stressful. They have developed a stressful condition for themselves. And you know, this stress is very, very dangerous to human beings. Friends, there seems to be a lot of rush in the hospitals for many, many diseases. People come there to cure many diseases. But they do not realize that the roots of many diseases lies in their stressful condition. Now, they take the medicine and the physical phenomenon may become all right. Physically, they may become fit. But if they are not made mentally fit, if they are not saved from a stressful condition, then you know that the medicos opined that there are many, many diseases which can be either created or developed by the stressful condition, or even if they are not developed by a stressful condition, the stressful condition worsen their condition, worsen the condition of such patients. Now the disease include all heart disease, asthma, obesity, diabetes, all sort of headaches, depression and anxiety, gastrointestinal problems, accelerated aging, fast aging, and premature deaths. All these, some way or the other way, directly or indirectly, are related with a stressful condition. And it is therefore very, very important to have a check on this stressful condition. I really congratulate the organizers to organize this webinar on stress management. They deserve all my appreciation and applause for selecting such a wonderful topic. I know very well that I'm not the person who can teach you how this stress can be managed. Maybe even this seminar or webinar may not provide you a ready-made solution to come out of this stressful condition. But maybe this webinar may give a direction to you. It may change your attitude towards the stressful condition created by COVID-19. And also in regard to other stressors. And if we could bring some change in our attitude towards the stressors, then there starts our journey against a stressful condition. This webinar will be able to enable us to cope up with our stress. The stress especially caused due to COVID-19 pandemic. It is the first step of our journey towards coping up with the stress in our attitude towards pandemic itself. So please be relaxed. Take all preventive measures and exploit the opportunities created by a situation. At one side, so many problems have been created due to COVID-19 and the lockdown imposed because of the situation. But at the same time, we have been witnessing so many opportunities. Now, these opportunities have to be realized and they have to be utilized properly. If we could use these opportunities properly, then there lies our success against the stressful condition. While being safe, we need to help others. Friends, one of the most important causes that I would like to share with you in regard to stress is the high expectations that we keep with others. As I told you, there are so many external stressors. These external stressors might have their roots in other human beings. Maybe our family members, maybe our relatives, maybe our neighbors, maybe our colleagues and co-workers. That sort of stressful condition is developed because we do have very, very high expectations from others. Friends, I would like to ask you a very small question. Do we have expectations from others? Yes, we have. Do we have expectations from ourselves? Yes, up to some extent, it's right that we do have expectations from ourselves as well. What do we do to fulfill our own expectations? We plan and we execute. We plan and then we execute. If I ask you the next question, are my expectations always fulfilled by myself? If I ask you this question, are you in a position to fulfill your own expectations always? The answer is no. Sometimes I could fulfill my expectations and sometimes I cannot. If I could fulfill my expectations, it's good. I must appreciate myself. But if I could not fulfill my own expectations, what do I do? Do I take a pistol and assassinate myself? Do I kill myself? No, I don't kill, because I know that life Friends, I'm sorry that you could not listen for a period of about 2 minutes. The point that I was discussing in last 2 minutes was, we develop a stressful condition because of the external stressors, and the roots of those external stressors may lie in different human beings, including our own family members, our relatives, our friends, our co-workers and colleagues. In that case, the real cause of developing stress is non-fulfillment of our high expectations. Unfortunately, we all human beings, we keep very, very high expectations from others. In order to respond these high expectations from others, I would like to ask you a question. And my question is, do we have expectations only from others, or we have got expectations from ourselves as well? And the simple answer is yes. Many times I do have expectations from myself as well. Now the next question that arises here is, am I able to fulfill all of my expectations within the given span of time? And the answer is yes, sometimes, but not always. Sometimes I'm able to fulfill my expectations, and sometimes I'm not able to fulfill my own expectations. Suppose I could not fulfill my expectations, what do? What sort of punishment I give to myself? Do I kill myself? No, I don't kill myself, because I know the worth and value of life. I also know that if I could not fulfill my expectation today, there is every possibility that I may fulfill my expectations tomorrow. If I could not qualify in the examination for this time, maybe there is every possibility that I may get through in the examination with flying colors when I appear it again. When I reappear in the examination, there is every possibility. So we give another opportunity to ourselves. So why can't we give another opportunity to others? As far as the expectations from others are concerned, there is every possibility that we could not have provided, we could not have impressed upon the other person with our own expectations. What expectations do we keep from others? There might be what is called as weak communication between the two persons. For example, what sort of expectations does a husband have with his wife, and what sort of expectations does the wife have with the husband? If they're not very clear in expressing their expectations to each other, how can they expect from each other that they'll be able to fulfill their expectations? The first stage is the communication itself. The second stage is, even if I could communicate properly, thoroughly, and effectively, I'm not sure whether somebody is as mature as he or she should be to understand my expectations. There is every possibility that the person may not be matured enough to understand my expectations in spite of all communications, effective communications. So in that sense, though the person is not fulfilling the expectations, but the problem does not lie with his or her intention. The problem lies with his or her understanding level. Because of level of understanding, the person could not understand my expectations. And if he could not understand my expectations, how can he fulfill his or my expectations? The next point is, suppose the person is very much successful in understanding my expectations. He is intelligent enough to understand my expectations. He is matured enough to understand my expectations. He has understood my expectations. It is, the next question is it in his purview to fulfill my expectations from him or her? Sometimes it may be beyond his or her purview. He or she may not take all possible efforts because he or she may be bound with certain rules, regulations, relations, etc., etc., etc. In that case also, I cannot blame the person that he's not or she's not trying to fulfill my expectations. So we need to give the opportunity, we need to communicate effectively, and we need to have patience to wait for the results. And it is therefore, the management guru, Shiv Kheraji, rightly says that whenever we deal with the human beings, our attitude towards them should be that of a laborer who works in the mine of the gold. A laborer who works in the golden mine, in the mine of the gold. He is sure that if this is the mine of the gold, then I'm going to definitely get the particles, yellow, glittering, golden particles from this particular mine. But sometimes in order to collect one glittering yellow golden particle, the laborer has to remove 1 kg of earth, and sometimes he may have to remove 1 quintal of earth. The laborer never weighs, never counts, never measures the amount of the soil that he removes from the golden mine, because his eyes are always there on the glittering yellow particles of the gold. Exactly in the same fashion, whenever you deal with the human beings, do not try to understand the human beings just superficially on the basis of their actions. Try to understand their intentions, because intentions are more important than the actions. If the intention is right, the person may be able or may not be able to do as per his or her intention. For example, I would like to narrate a very, very small incident. Once upon a time, a couple was traveling with their son, aged about 18 years. All the three were seated in the AC2 of a very super fast train. Now, suddenly, when the train stopped at one platform, a team of youngsters, college students, boys and girls, they came and they sat there. And they were shocked to note that the young boy of the couple, whose age was about 18 years, he was looking outside the window, and he was surprisingly saying to his mom, "Mom, just see, look at the trees, they are going behind. They are going behind in the opposite direction of the train." Now these college students, they thought that there is some problem, there is some mental disorder with the boy. After some time, the boy, along with his father, went away from that place, maybe for the toilet room or something else. So these children, these college students, they addressed to his mother and said, "Madam, if you don't mind, shall we suggest you to please take your son, who's so smart, but who has developed this mental disorder. Will you please take him to the hospital? The mother smiled and said, "Oh, children, I'm so grateful to you for your valuable suggestion. But for your kind information, right now we are coming from the hospital itself. And I'm very thankful to His Almighty that for the first time, my son is able to see with his own eyes. He was blind. And after recovering from a surgery, one renowned doctor has operated upon, for the first time, his eyes are open and he could see the scenes that we have been seeing since our childhood. So that time, the college students realized that the problem was not of mental disorder. The problem was the novel experience that a young man of 18 years of age was facing, witnessing, because of coming out of that blindness. So friends, many times we misunderstood others, and it is because of misunderstanding with others. Excuse me, I'll just join within a minute, please. Hello. Dear participants, I'll just join within a minute, please. I've got an important call. I'll just attend it and I'll come back. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. Ji. I'm sorry, friends, there was an urgent call from the Honorable Vice Chancellor, so I had to attend it, and I have come back. Friends, I was telling you that the real cause for developing a stressful conditions because of others is keeping very high expectations from others and getting nervous if those high expectations are not fulfilled. And for that purpose, I was elaborating the situation that keeping high expectations from others itself is not right. Unless and until you go step by step. You have to motivate the people. You have to make them understand what your expectations are. Then you have to motivate them to act accordingly. You have to provide them all the necessary facilities, maybe infrastructure facilities or maybe financial facilities, whatever facilities they require. Then you have to guide them. You have to monitor their work. And then only slowly and gradually you can see your expectations getting fulfilled. And if you do that, in that condition, there is every possibility that you may not develop what is called as high expectations and getting nervous from others. So my million-dollar question that I would like to address to all of you, are we really realistic in keeping expectations from others? And if not, then there is a space to ponder upon, to think over, to have what is called as a reflection over the situation. Friends, this pandemic situation has provided us an opportunity to think, to ponder, to reflect, not only on the COVID-19 situation, but also to evaluate ourselves and our personality. As it is said, that the only way to progress, the only way to enhance, the only way to go and develop ourselves, the only way for the personality development is what is called as performing what is called as SWOT analysis. This SWOT analysis, S-W-O-T. S stands for strengths, W stands for weakness, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats. What are my strengths? What are my strengths? What are my positive points with the help of which I can develop myself? I can ensure my own growth. So what are my strengths? See, without realizing, without understanding one's own strengths, one cannot progress. The first thing is having a stock of our own strength so that we can develop that further and we can exploit our strength in reaching to our destination. Whatever destination we have fixed in our life, if we really want to reach to that, then our strength can help us. Only thing is, we need to realize that. We need to evaluate that and we need to develop that. The second point is the weaknesses. As we have got a strength, so we have got what is called as weaknesses as well. Every human being is not free of all sort of weakness. Some or other weakness might be there. If we really want to reach to our destination, if we really want to achieve our targets, if we really want to realize our aims and objectives, then we need to keep our eyes on our weaknesses as well. Why? Not to develop what is called as inferiority complex because of the weakness. But we need to realize our weakness so that we can remove them from our personality. As such, there is no weakness. If we try against it, we cannot remove it. We can definitely come out of our weaknesses, provided we realize them, we evaluate them, and we make a planning against them. And we need to act very sincerely as per our plan against the weakness. The next is the opportunity. There are many people, either they are proud of their strengths or they develop a sort of inferiority complex because of their weakness. And as a result, they are not able to exploit the opportunities that are available. It is said, there is a quotation, and I quote, starve the problems, and feed the opportunities. Whatever problems we are having, if we get engrossed in those problems only, then we shall not be able to realize and exploit the opportunities that are available to us. So, from SWOT, I was just trying to explain the letter O, that is for opportunity. There are so many opportunities available. Only thing is, we need to have a very clear mind and heart to realize those opportunities. Maybe if I could not get selected in one interview, there is every possibility that if I struggle hard, there is every possibility that I may get selected in the next interview. There are so many people. For example, you might be knowing that in America, somebody lost his job, somebody lost his marital life, somebody lost the elections, somebody lost and faced a huge loss in the business. But ultimately, he became the president of America. Why? Because even if he lost so many things, he did not lose himself. So having the grip on ourselves is the most important thing, and that we can have by exploiting the opportunities. Whatever opportunities are there, and please remember that one sort of opportunity knocks our door only once. Any opportunity, it knocks only once on our door. If we just try to make use of that opportunity, that from within that opportunity, the next opportunity is created. So those who realize one opportunity, they only get a second opportunity. And that is a chain. That chain continues. So never miss any golden opportunity that is available to you. And the next one is the threats. And threats, by threat we mean the external distractors, the obstacles, the bottlenecks on our way. The bottlenecks that do not lead us. They do not allow us to go to our destination. So those bottlenecks, the external forces. Weaknesses are from within, but the threats are from outside. Now there are many people, whenever they face any threat, they struggle against the threat in such a fashion that their whole life is utilized only in fighting against those threats. Friends, time is so precious. Life is so valuable that it never gives you one opportunity the second time. And it is therefore, whenever you face any threat, be sure that there is always another way. The threat cannot stop you towards your journey, towards your destination. Even if the threat seems to be a bottleneck on your way, the speed breaker, you can always find another way. This lesson we can learn from the rivers. Whenever there is some blockage, whenever there is some mountain, the river never stops. It finds its ways somewhere the other way. And it is therefore the river flows and it keeps its flow continues and continues. So likewise, whatever problems we have in our life, whatever threats we are imposed on us, never treat them to the bottlenecks or the speed breaker or what is called as a rock against our journey. If one door is closed, never mind. There are so many other doors which are open for us. When a college student goes for a paper and when he finds that some road is blocked because of some construction work, some repair work is going on, and if the boy is sincere or if the girl is sincere, that student never stops and comes back to home saying that today I cannot appear in the examination because the road is blocked. If the road is blocked, maybe some parallel road is there. It may not be as broad as that road was, maybe the small road, maybe a lane, but one who is very keen to appear in the examination will try to reach to the examination center before time. Exactly in the same fashion, the stressful condition is developed because we get stressed because of the threats imposed by others. So never try to understand those threats, never to estimate those threats to be the blockage on your way, to be the speed breaker or the bottleneck on your way. Maybe, as it is said, that an opportunities find, an optimist finds the opportunities behind any problem, whereas a pessimist finds problems behind any opportunities. So choice is ours, whether we treat that threat to be an opportunity or to be a problem. If we treat it to be an opportunity, many ways we can find to reach to our destination. Friends, what is life? Life is nothing, but it's a journey towards our destination. $1,000,000 question is whether we have certain goal in our life. What sort of goal we have in our life? As it is said, क्या बताऊं अहबाब क्या कारे नुमाया कर गए, बीए किया मुलाजिमत की और मर गए, पेंशन ली और मर गए. There are many people who achieve their education, they become qualified, they join the service. For a long span of time, they indulge themselves into services. Then they get the retirement, pension, and they are no more. A day comes when their death happens and the history forgets that. But there are certain people who change the course of history itself. And they are those who have their smart goal in their life. So do we have any smart goal in our life? That's the question. And if we have the goal in our life, if you have a very smart goal in life, then do we have an action plan to achieve that goal? Goal should be smart. By smart, I mean it should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be realistic, it should be achievable, and it should be time bound. Friends, there are many people who lead their life for themselves. But those who learn to lead their life for others, they have higher goals in their life, like Mother Teresa, like any other philanthropist, that they struggle throughout their life for the betterment of the people. If we have such goal in our life, then we can make an action plan accordingly, and we should not have complaints against others, but we have as motivation for others. And if we learn this lesson of motivating others, naturally, we should not be in a position to develop what is called as a stressful condition for ourselves. I think this is the best remedy that we can have. And the remedy I would like to repeat is have the SWOT analysis for yourselves. Do not have very high expectations from others. Help them in fulfilling whatever expectations do you have with others, and try to help them in reaching to those expectations. And this is how we can try to come out of this stressful condition. My best wishes are with all of you. Maybe His Almighty provide you an opportunity to come out with this stressful condition, to lead a very happy and successful life, and to enable us to serve the humanity, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, nation, region, language, culture, etc., etc. Because above all, there lies what is called as humanity. Humanity should be our religion because we are human beings first. Then only we might be Muslims, we might be Hindus, we might be Christians, we might be Indians, we might be Americans, whatever we are. Our first identity should be that of an individual, a human being. So let's try to learn this lesson, because this lesson has been explained by our religious books. This lesson has been taught by our Father of Nation. This lesson has been taught by almost all the religions, because the sum and total of all the religions is nothing but it lies in the humanity. So let us try to lead our lives successfully, and let us try to provide an opportunity for others to lead their life also successfully. Join hand in hands and let us march towards our destination. Thank you very much, and I welcome your questions now. If you have got any questions, if you have got any question, you are most welcome, please. I hope the organizers will allow the participants if they have their questions, please. Please unmute them. If anybody has got the question, he or she may raise the hand and the organizers may allow them. Organizers, please allow those participants who want to ask any question, please. May I request the organizers, please, to allow the participants who are raising their hands to ask.
Yes, sir.
Participants can unmute and ask.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, please. I'm listening to you. I'm able to listen to you.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. You said that one root of stress is expectation. So how we should manage our expectation? Like, is there any strategy, or you can say that how we should be able to be in a situation where we are expecting less from others?
Madam, we need to be very much realistic, because being the human being, it's not in our hands to fulfill all of our own expectations as well. If I'm not in a position to fulfill my own expectations by myself, how can I expect others to fulfill my expectations? Because they have got their own limitations as I've got my own limitations, isn't it? So
Yes,
if I have got my own limitations, if I'm not in a position to fulfill my own expectations, I should realize that maybe, in spite of having all good intentions, somebody may not be in a position to fulfill my expectations. I think that's the only solution, that's the only remedy in order to keep a balance between the expectations and the outcomes.
Thank you so much, sir.
You are most welcome, please. It seems that there is no question. So, yes, somebody is raising the hand, please. Amruddin, sir. One who wants to ask the question, please unmute yourself.
Please unmute and please ask the question.
Please unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Am I audible, sir? Hello, sir.
Yes, you are very much audible, please.
Sir, how to handle the stress which arises at workplace as well as at home, sir? Sometimes it comes suddenly
Okay.
and unknowingly, and how to handle it, sir?
Okay. First of all, one thing I would like to say that the stress may be from home or stress may be from the workplace as well. And these stress, whatever situation we have at home, that situation definitely influences the situation at the workplace as well, because it influences my personality as a whole. And if my personality is influenced by my home environment, naturally, I'm going to influence the work environment as well. So these all are interrelated. My personal life is related with my family life is related with my social life is related with what is called as the professional life. All the aspects of our life are interrelated. There lies a strong bonds between different aspects of our life. We cannot isolate one aspect of our life with the another one. So they are going to influence each other. And as you said, if something happens suddenly, if some stressful condition is developed suddenly, then how to handle it? For that purpose, as such, there is no master key, but the only master key is, please be prepared because life itself is the blend of so many accidents, isn't it? So accident can happen at any time. You should be mentally and emotionally prepared to face such situation. Those who are always prepared to face such a situation, they only are able in a position to fight against that stressful condition. For example, a landlord, he receives a telegram. In those days, there was a system of telegram. He receives a telegram from the supervisor to whom he had appointed as a supervisor to look after his land. And the telegram stated that the whole of the what is called as the land or whatever was there, it is burnt. There was fire, and everything has turned into ashes. This was the telegram received by the landlord. And the immediate reply of the landlord was, grow it again. All the trees and whatever wealth was there in that land, the simple reply was, grow it again. Because whatever happened, it happened. That loss we have to bear. He never asked that, set up an inquiry, who put it to fire, who is responsible, who is the real criminal behind that incident. He never ordered such things. His simple instruction was, grow it again. Whatever was there, you grow it again. That's the only funda for the very successful life. Friend, I would like to say that we need to be mentally prepared to face such sudden shocks in our life. There are sudden shocks. For example, one of my friends who is very healthy, who seems to be very healthy and fit, who is very active and smart. Just before 2 weeks, for some reason, he happened to be to the doctor with some other patient. Doctor observed him very keenly and said that you need to undergo through a checkup. He said, no, I'm not the patient. My friend is the patient and I have brought him here. Doctor said, but no, you need to go. And when the checkup was made, his ECG was taken and all that, then they came to know that the person was suffering with the heart disease, severe heart disease. There were so many blockages. See, he was not mentally prepared for that. If he would have lost himself, he would not have recovered. But he realized, he accepted that shock with a very broad mind, and he started treating himself. First of all, an angiography was made, then angioplasty was made, and now the person is all right. So we need to prepare ourselves for such sudden shocks. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to
Hello, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We need to stop
Sir.
it because I have got another meeting, please.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you very much.
Let's collect the questions and we
Thank
shall
you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Siddiqui, sir,
Thank you.
for your valuable insights and thought-provoking aspects that you shared with the participants. And I thank all the participants and who actively participated in this session, as well as you asked some interesting questions. And I hope that the further sessions will clarify your queries in the coming days of the rest of the 4.5 days. Thank you very much, sir. And be prepared. Next session will be at 2:30, and there might have been some delays in posting the attendance and all these things. And it will be first morning session. From afternoon onwards, it will be streamlined, and no need to worry about your attendance and all these things. Thank you very much. Have a great day and lunch. And let us join at 2:30 afternoon session. Okay. All the best.